In today's installment of The Spider's Web, we will be discussing gay frogs and lizards. We all remember where we were when we first heard the news.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Now, obviously, when you hear the news presented to you in such a calm and measured manner, one is inclined to believe it. But is it really true? Well, it turns out, yes. For those of you unfamiliar with the story, a professor at the University of Berkeley by the name of Tyrone Hayes led research into a pesticide called atrazine. His team published their findings in respectable scientific journals. Their results showed atrazine feminized male frogs, shrank their gonads, and in some cases turned them into hermaphrodites, and they lost interest in female frogs. This didn't just happen to frogs. In one research paper entitled Demasculization and Feminization of Male Gonads by Atrazine, consistent effects across vertebrate classes, they found not just frogs, but lizards and even mammals are suffering the same side effects. Hayes and his team are not the only scientists to find alarming results when they study atrazine. There are many others. For example, Dr. Sarah A. Waller and her team found increased numbers of birth defects in people born in rural communities where people are being exposed to higher rates of atrazine. They are spraying 70 to 90,000 tons of atrazine on crops every year. It's gotten into tap water. It's even managed to contaminate our rainwater. This leads on to another very important question, which is who are they? Who's spraying these chemicals? So, although he never says it explicitly when discussing the topic, Alex Jones alludes to the idea of some kind of mysterious cabal embedded within the Democrat Party that just wants to be able to control people and sees feminizing the population as a viable way of consolidating that power. However, somewhat unsurprisingly, he never really provides any evidence, and it appears to be nothing more than wild speculation on his part.
Have you ever wanted to believe in something, even though you knew it couldn't be true? Did you ever want to believe it so bad you didn't pay attention to what your common sense was telling you? Well, that's a good way to get into trouble.
So, is this still a conspiracy? Well, yes, actually, albeit maybe a somewhat less dramatic conspiracy. But the they in this story is a global agricultural technology company called Syngenta. Syngenta got themselves in some legal hot water in 2012 because several community water systems in the Midwest got fed up of having to foot the bill for removing atrazine from the water supply, so they sued Syngenta, who settled the case by coughing up $105 million, whilst also admitting no wrongdoing. During the trial, Syngenta were forced to admit that they were plotting against Tyrone Hayes in a bid to discredit his findings. With that being said, it's time to wrap things up with my final thoughts. This is a classic case of corporate conspiracy. There are plenty of others, for example, Big Tobacco, Purdue Pharma. It's hard to know how these corporations could be brought to heel without government intervention. The right traditionally favors small government and is anti-government regulation. So, my question is, if you believe in fighting against the evil corporate overlords that conspire against us, who should you vote for? That's not a rhetorical question. Please feel free to answer that in the comments section. Bye.